Hey Daniel, this is Mike D from the Fittest League. I want to thank you for coming out on February 20, 2016 and supporting us in our first winter weightlifting throwdown in New York City. So today we actually have all 6 of your lifts from that meet, 3 snatches, 3 clean and jerks, and we're going to break them down. Things go pretty quickly here. You got a pretty quick setup. A couple things that I want to actually address with you is, one, is I want you to breathe a little more before you go up. You kind of get up there and you have a mentality of ripping this barbell off the floor, which in weightlifting can actually be detrimental to your lifts. So think of like a nice fluid mechanics, staying relaxed but still aggressive. So your setup here, let's take a look at the setup, and the snatches are pretty much all across the same. So your setup, you're very hunched over the bar, which is going to result in you doing like a stiff leg RDL at the top, which won't catch up to you now because you're strong and this weight is light. But as it gets up to your higher one, you'll see what we're talking about. So what you can do here is really working on your positioning so your back's a little rounded there. And we want to think about taking the knees and driving them out. Still keeping your feet where they're at, but driving your knees out towards your elbows. That's going to allow you then to sit your pelvis and crotch deeper into that squat, keeping it closer to the bar, and in turn will allow your back to stay a little more vertical. So, in a perfect world, we'd have your back maybe here, right? And then your knees are driving out. And then what happens is you're able to take off in a more vertical position. So really just working on that setup. The second thing here is that this first pull, we want to have you, that bar is actually traveling away from you. If you can tell, it's out in front. So now you're in a bent over position. We need to actually have that barbell come in towards your body, and that's going to be your setup. Long arms, and then at this point you're already starting to pull with the hands, but once again you have great triple extension with your ankles, knees, and hips, and then it's just a fast turn over the bar. So I know this was your first meet, so a couple things we want to think about here is one, being a little more fluidity and relaxed in your attempts. You shouldn't have to get all riled up. 2, I want you to really work on your setup and really dropping your hips and opening up the knees. And 3, working on that overhead catch position. So that might just be you just getting better at overhead squats and not having to really attack, but be really mindful of the skill work. So it's a great pull. Obviously we have adjustments to make. So now we're going to look at the next 2 snatches here. All right, so that one was quick, but let's get you here. And what I also want to address with you is your head's always down when you pull. Well, if your head's down, you're going to look forward, you're going to get pulled forward. So we just got to make sure we get a better setup. Starting to pull with the hands again. Since you're doing like a huge muscle snatch there with the jump, which is fine, but keep your head up. All right, so your snatch work there, I believe you went 2 for 3. The last one you kind of pressed out there, so that didn't count. But really just dropping your butt, keeping your head up off the start, and use your legs. Don't use your arms and try and muscle the weight. It never ends well. But all in all, a great attempt. For your first weightlifting meet. I know you're new to this type of training. So just continue to do it. Continue to stop on in the barbell club, and we look forward to seeing more of you. Now we're going to go to your clean and jerk. All right, so we're going to roll this sucker back here. Once again, it's just your setup. Opening your knees a little bit, so pressing it out into the elbows, and if you're cramped up, move the hands out a little wider. Get your butt down, that way you can take the knees and you can drive it out here, and then your butt drops down, and then your face comes up. So now your back angle almost looks like that instead of where it's at now, which is about right here. Okay. So now what we're going to have you do is you take off nice and slow. Eyes are up. And you get to here. Take your time, right? You're a little cramped up with your hands. Take your time, reset. You're able to fly through it now because it's light, but if you are trying to get strong at the sport, you need to be deliberate with your attempts here. So Relax under the bar, stay tight, but relax your mind, and then focus on your dip and drive. So just having a little more control with your movements, but that all comes with time. You did a great job with that lift. I know you're, at 70 kilo. The next two lifts get a little sloppy, and that's just, I think, you're rushing things. So let's take a look here. All right, so a really good power clean, great timing, a little bit jerky off the floor. And then your the split jerk, just if you're going to split jerk, make sure you are practicing it, but do a great job driving it, good punch off, and then that back knee sticks the landing. If we look right here, this back knee's got to be your shock absorber. So you're in a decent position, but you just can't lock it out because you stopped letting your knee absorb. So when you catch, the elbow should be straight, and your knee should be able to drop downwards depending on how much depth you need. And that you get the depth, your elbows are locked, and you're getting depth because you're shock absorbing with your hips, not your elbows. Here you can see then the elbows bend, and you have to press it out, and that is just not a good lift in the sport of weightlifting. All right, Daniel, so I want to thank you for coming through here and competing. What I want you to work on is just the basics again, so working on your overhead squats, working on staying relaxed under tension, and attacking the lifts. What you can do is at j2fit.com/videos, we have a video library of Olympic weightlifting exercise that you can try out, and it has a little write-ups. Really great for you to do there. I look forward to seeing more of you at the gym, and continue the hard work, and I look forward to everything. Take care.